Unsolved Mysteries, America's most baffling true crime cases. Some crimes capture our collective imagination, not because they were solved, but because they remain shrouded in mystery. I'm Hafiz Abu Bakr, and today we're diving into 5 of America's most perplexing unsolved cases that continue to baffle investigators decades later. In the late 1960s, the San Francisco Bay Area was terrorized by a killer who not only took lives, but seemed to taunt authorities with cryptic letters and ciphers. The self-named Zodiac claimed responsibility for at least 37 murders, though investigators have only confirmed 7 attacks, with 5 fatalities. What makes this case so fascinating isn't just the brutality of the crimes, but the killer's apparent desire for fame. He sent taunting letters to local newspapers, including 4 ciphers, only one of which was solved until recently. Despite one of the largest manhunts in American history, the Zodiac's identity remains unknown. Countless suspects have been investigated over the decades, but DNA evidence, fingerprints, and handwriting samples have yet to definitively identify the killer. In 2020, one of the Zodiac's remaining ciphers was finally cracked by amateur cryptographers, but rather than revealing his identity, it simply contained more boasting about evading capture. More than 50 years later, the case remains open, with new theories and potential suspects still emerging. Will modern forensic techniques finally put a name to one of America's most notorious killers? January 15th, 1947. A horrific discovery in a vacant lot in Los Angeles would become one of America's most infamous unsolved murders. The body of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, posthumously nicknamed the Black Dahlia by the press, was found severed at the waist and drained of blood. Short's body showed signs of torture that occurred before her death, and the killer had posed her corpse in a grotesque display. The brutality of the crime shocked the nation and sparked what would become one of the largest investigations in Los Angeles history. Despite interviewing thousands of suspects and following countless leads, police never made an arrest. The case was complicated by sensationalist media coverage and more than 50 people falsely confessing to the crime. In the decades since, dozens of suspects have been proposed, ranging from doctors with surgical skills to organized crime figures. Numerous books and films have offered theories, but physical evidence remains scant. The Black Dahlia murder has become a dark piece of Hollywood lore and a symbol of how even the most high-profile cases can remain unsolved despite intense scrutiny. On February 13, 2017, 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German disappeared while hiking on the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi, Indiana. Their bodies were discovered the next day about half a mile from the trail. What makes this case particularly haunting is that Liberty German had the presence of mind to record video and audio of a man approaching them on her smartphone. Police released a grainy image from the video showing a man walking on the bridge, along with a brief audio clip where he can be heard saying, "Down the hill." Despite having both video and audio of the potential suspect, plus DNA evidence from the crime scene, investigators have been unable to identify the killer. The case has received national attention and thousands of tips, but remains unsolved. Police have released updated sketches and additional audio over the years, and in 2019 they shifted their focus to finding connections to local residents rather than a transient person passing through. The community of Delphi continues to seek justice for Abby and Libby, with their families working tirelessly to keep the case in the public eye, in hopes that someone will finally recognize the man on the bridge. On April 1st, 2006, 27-year-old medical student Brian Shaffer disappeared after a night out with friends in Columbus, Ohio. Security cameras at the Ugly Tuna Saloon bar captured him entering the establishment just after 1:15 a.m., but never showed him leaving. The bar had limited exits, all monitored by cameras. Every person who entered that night was accounted for leaving, except Brian. It's as if he simply vanished into thin air. In the following weeks, police reviewed hours of footage and interviewed everyone present that night. They found no evidence of foul play, no financial activity on Brian's accounts after his disappearance, and no sign that he had planned to disappear voluntarily. Adding to the mystery, Brian's cell phone pinged a tower near his apartment the next day, but the phone was never found. His girlfriend received a call from his number on April 3rd, but only heard static when she answered. Theories range from Brian having slipped past cameras somehow, to him being hidden somewhere in the building, to more elaborate scenarios involving secret passages or identity changes. Some have even suggested he fell victim to the Smiley Face Killers, a theoretical group some believe targets college-age men. 15 years later, with no body found and no credible sightings, the case remains a complete mystery. On December 1st, 1948, the body of an unidentified man was discovered on Somerton Beach near Adelaide, Australia. Dressed in a suit and tie, with all labels removed from his clothing, the man carried no identification. Despite his distinguished appearance, no one came forward to identify him. The mystery deepened when investigators found a scrap of paper in a hidden pocket with the Persian phrase, "Tamam shud," meaning it is ended, torn from a rare copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. The book from which it came was later found, containing an encrypted message that has never been conclusively deciphered. Forensic examination revealed unusual physical characteristics and possible poisoning, though no poison was detected in his system. Despite international investigation efforts, the man's identity, cause of death, and the meaning of the encrypted message remain unknown. In 2021, the man was exhumed for DNA analysis, offering new hope for identification through genealogical methods that have solved many cold cases in recent years. Will modern science finally put a name to the Somerton man after more than 70 years? These cases represent just a fraction of the mysteries that continue to perplex investigators and fascinate the public. Despite advances in forensic science, DNA analysis, and digital investigation techniques, some crimes remain stubbornly unsolved. Perhaps what draws us to these stories isn't just the mystery itself, but what they reveal about human nature and the limits of our justice system. They remind us that, despite our technological advances, some questions may never be answered. Which of these cases intrigues you the most? Do you have theories about what really happened? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more explorations of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Until next time, remember that while some cases go cold, the search for truth never truly ends.